This episode of the Coarse Grind Podcast has been brought to you by Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, family-owned and operated screen printing and embroidery business located in a historic storefront on Old Berwick Road in the heart of Espy. They've been doing screen printing for over 20 years. They have high-quality product at a low price. Be sure to check them out. Central Sports and Graphics Incorporated, 570-784-1212. Now, on to the show.
Hi, this is Chef Rick Moonen. We're listening to Sean Rossler on Coarse Grind. Come and listen in. Get a few tips.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode number 192 and a dog of the Coarse Grind Podcast. With you as always this evening, host creator Sean Rossler. How is everyone doing this evening? Well, here we go. I told you wheels back under the show, and while it's a bit longer than I wanted it to be, here we are. And as I sorted through feelings and vibes as to how I wanted to bring the show back after losing my father, who I know is still listening, I shit you not, there was one person that I thought of. See, her mom and I connected after I had her on the first time, aka the first episode, and I even had the chance to play editor for a book about, I think it was sea lions, that the talented Charmaine penned. So again, it's only appropriate that she, who's been far kinder than her fame should permit to me, ushers me back into the fray, renewed and refreshed. And speaking of renewed and refreshed, that's a great way to describe tonight's guest, as she's recently returned to her roots in Arizona, Santa Fe, and since her family moved to Santa Fe. That's New Mexico, by the way, not Arizona.
New Mexico. Real close.
Love it.
Real
She
close.
chirped in on the intro. I love it. A Santa Fean, since her family moved, and if you're good at voices, you know who it is already, moved to Santa Fe in 1988. Our guest attended Alameda Junior High and Santa Fe High School. She went on to study international business at New Mexico State University Las Cruces, a turning point in her career options. While working part-time at a Las Cruces coffee shop, she realized what she really wanted to study was culinary arts. Upon graduating from Scottsdale Culinary Institute in 1997, she began her career at Coyote Cafe, working the garde manger and hot apps. Then executive chef Jeff Drew saw promise in her skill and promoted her as his shoe chef, whatever. The first step of so very many. Top Chef, Pop Parlor, Sweetfin Poke. Hell, she even cooked for Stone Cold Steve Austin. The jealousy. Oh God, the jealousy. She's not only one of the most commercially successful women-owned restaurateurs in Southern California, but one of the most amazing human beings who's ever been on this show, let alone 3 times. It's amazing how the world brings you what and who you need when you need them. And here we are. So I couldn't be more grateful personally. Let's cut the shit and get down to it, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. The true OG original guest of the Coarse Grind Podcast with more culinary credits than I could ever possibly name, but I'll die trying. The Chef Dakota Weiss. What is going on, Chef?
That was an insane intro.
I literally, listen, about a week and a half ago, I fell down 8 steps. I have a bruise like you wouldn't believe on my ass. I bruised my rotator cuff, and I feel like that intro was me doing that to get back into doing intros like that. So there you go. That's what happens when you take time off, man. Death or no, you gotta go with it. How the hell have you been, lady?
I'm good.
Good. And back to the roots. I can't believe, man, I mean, my geography teacher's probably rolling over in his grave, if he's dead, I assume. Arizona, New Mexico, we get it. Santa Fe, New Mexico, kids. That's where we're talking about. So we're going to get down to it for the 3rd time, because Dakota really is that truly awesome. Folks new to the programs, folks with terrible short-term memories like yours truly, starters, mains, and afters. Starters, we're going to do a little bit of homework as to how the chef guest in question came to be where they are today. Mains, we'll talk about where they're at. And afters, we'll talk about a little bit more irreverent stuff, a little bit more off the cuff, but no one's been severely injured in 191 episodes, so I don't foresee that happening this evening. So, short format tonight, because, listen, if you want to go back, you want to listen, go back to episode 1. Go back to episode, oh God, I think it was around 160 or something. And now here we are again.
It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, but here we are, 192 for the 3rd time. So, Chef Dakota Weiss, I'm going to kind of press the fast forward button a little bit, but still ask you the good questions. tell us all about where and what you grew up eating.
Okay, so I grew up
not in Santa Fe, Arizona, in case anyone's going to be critical of me now.
No, I grew up in Southern California.
Yep.
In the high desert, which is basically hell. It's hot, dry, and windy. If like you see in the movies where they've got the tumbleweeds that like roll across the ground and the roads in the middle of nowhere, that's where we grew up. But my mom was like a super hippie, and she made all of our food from scratch. She had a farm, we had goats, we had chickens, we drank fresh goat's milk. She made fresh pureed spinach, and who knows what else she was cooking back there. But, yeah, that's kind of where I grew up, and, my mom was definitely a health nut when we were younger, so we ate very healthy, and, dessert was, here, have some dates.
Oh, man, listen, man, I was the dork that showed up to, like, campouts, and they said, all right, Rossler, bring a dessert, and my mom would get me grapes. I'm like, well, are you kidding me? Don't do that to me. No, that's... Where
are the Twinkies? Where's the s'mores?
Dude, I cannot tell you the first time I tasted any kind of processed sweet like that. I cannot tell you, because my mom, before it was cool, and I think you and I kind of waxed that same, like, that same image. Before it was cool, she was into health food. And it was like, okay, cool. Oh, you want a snack? Get an apple. Like, what the hell? Where's my Lucky Charms?
Yeah, totally. I have a severe sweet tooth. Mm-hmm. And so I would get to the point where, like, I would start going through the vitamin cabinets and looking for, like, the Flintstone vitamins just because I wanted something chewy and sweet.
That's
I
all right.
And literally eat an entire bottle of Flintstone vitamins.
All right, listen, if we're throwing ourselves on the mercy of the high court, and I think in 3 episodes I've never brought this up before, but if you're going to say that, listen, you're chowing vitamins, that's pretty low. I'm going to take it a step lower. I knew where the powdered sugar was. I knew where the butter was. I knew how to make a buttercream frosting. This is when I was in 4th grade, because I woke up and was watching food programming on like PBS. So I knew how to make it, and I always wanted frosting. I remember that was a dream of mine. I'm going to have a tub of frosting in my refrigerator one day. What the fuck? Like, really? And so that was my thing. And finally, I forget if it was my mom or dad. They're like, oh, we noticed the powdered sugar was a little low. Like, who's watching that? Really? Man.
Speaking of frosting, today I made a cake, and I made this brown butter lime frosting. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Oh my god.
That pretty much was breakfast.
Brown butter, anything, like, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
Agreed.
Full story.
100% agreed.
Yeah. So obviously, we kind of figured out, what kind of eater the both of us were growing up, but we get it. What was something Mom made that you look back on and you go, God damn, I wish I could have that again?
Oh, her roasted chicken.
Yeah.
Hands down, the most amazing, juicy, tender, crispy skin chicken you could ever imagine. And she always made mashed potatoes from scratch versus my grandma, who did everything out of a box. Also good. I can't, I do love me a good box mashed potato every once in a while.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with getting a Manhattan in the dive bar and then getting it, poured in the 3 Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
They're both Manhattans. They're both good.
Yep. Her roasted chicken, just the best. And I've literally watched her do it from start to finish, and I still cannot do it as good as she does.
I was just going to ask you, because not so much the chicken, but the mashed potatoes were my mom's wheelhouse. And she did shit with the mashed potatoes. Listen, I'm throwing boursin, I'm throwing heavy cream in. I cannot recreate what this woman did with skim milk and like salt and pepper. It is the
skim
most...
milk. Skim milk.
What? Again, the health food thing. Like, we couldn't, God forbid you had an ounce of fat in your milk. What the hell? Oh my God. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I think there's something to that, like, you can never quite live up to that. But that roasted chicken, God, again, it goes back to simplicity, right? Simplicity being the key to it. Like, don't make things complicated. Roasted chicken is hard to master.
It really is, and I would say her second best thing is her brisket. She always just made a killer brisket.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Yeah, just tons of garlic and onions, and oh God, it was just delicious.
That is crazy. So, I mean, I think, again, for the sake of the record, it's safe to say that Mom was the culinary lightning rod, as it were, for you.
Yeah, she loved to cook, and, you know, she had fun with it, honestly, and, you know, for the most part, everything she cooked, she did grow herself. Maybe the stints when, you know, we were in junior high and high school, not so much, but, you know, when she moved, oh gosh, my candle just broke.
Uh-oh.
I was like, what is that glass snapping?
I love it. See, she's reaching out. She's like, hey.
Right? She's like, damn right I cooked from scratch.
Right. You better recognize. What do you mean, junior high, I didn't?
Well, I mean, she and my dad were so busy, like, running their businesses, you know, trying to keep the family afloat. So, but yeah, I mean, when we lived in California, mostly, she did everything, you know, huge gardens. When they lived up in Dixon on the apple farm, she had probably the biggest garden ever. And I mean, literally just everything from scratch and just, you know, from the garden. It was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man.
And I can't keep a fern alive. Like, I have a black thumb. Like, anybody gives me flowers or a plant, it's gonna die within a week.
It's like they hand you a bouquet of roses and they just...
Yeah, like, I overwater, I underwater, I oversun, I undersun. Like, I just can't handle plants.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I tried growing peppers, which are supposedly very easy, last year when we moved here to Santa Fe, and they all died. Every single one of them.
I got lucky. And again, it's, you know, Pennsylvania versus New Mexico, not Arizona. I have 2 raised boxes, 4x8s, and the peppers do well, but they don't take off quick either. Like, I've seen people posting after 2 weeks, like, look at these full-grown peppers, and my cayennes are like, I'm still tiny. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
like,
I tried this golden cayenne, which I just thought sounded so cool. They never turned golden. They went from green to dead in like 2 days.
Oh my God. See, so yeah, I mean, it's so funny how, you know, with like my mom, for example, it was the mashed potatoes. Your mom is the gardening, and like I always have lumps. You're killing things. Like nothing is a shoo-in. Nothing is a shoo-in.
No.
And I just, you know, I have to take a moment again, you know, cause it's been a hot minute, since we talked on air, and I have to tell you, what a joy that sea lion book. And I don't remember the name of it. If you have it, I'd love to like feature it on the page.
It's like Osa.
Yeah, it was some like
something.
Yeah, some name, the sea or something like that. But I just remember her being so sweet, you know, because I reached out to her after she friended me, and I'm like, your daughter's awesome. She's a rock star, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I know. I'm like, okay, you're awesome. By default, you kick ass. She killed. And I forget how we even got on the topic of like writing and copy editing. She's like, oh, I think maybe I mentioned something that I was a teacher. And she's like, oh, well, you were an English teacher. Could you look at this for me? I'm like, hell yes, I'll look at it for you. And it was just so sweet. So sweet. So incredibly sweet. So there, I just had a gush for, if but for a minute, about her. And now knowing that she had a garlicky brisket, like Christ, what is not to love about the woman? So like, now we know what brought you forward. Like we talked about it in the intro. Folks, if you want to know, go back, listen to the discography, if you will, the previous 2 episodes. You'll find out everything you need to know about how Chef got from point A to point current day. You know, by way of, you know, Top Chef Season 7 didn't hurt. That's how I discovered her. But again, there's so much more to it. Go back and listen to it. So today, looking at your current landscape, and this is kind of what brought, like, you back into my purview, you have not only one thing going on, but you have 2 things going on. And I want to kind of focus on those. We have Coyote Cafe and Cantina, which is just exquisite. I mean, if I had no other reason to go to New Mexico, that would be it. And now we have this emerging pop-up concept, Catch Santa Fe. So let me start with just talking about how you got to Coyote Cafe and Cantina, which we know from the intro. It's kind of where you started, but what brought you back?
Yeah, super cool, kind of full circle story. So Coyote Cafe has been around, I think, 34 years.
Yeah.
Mark Miller is the opening chef, and he was kind of a pioneer in his day. He's one of the first chefs to ever build an open kitchen. So the front line is completely open to the restaurant. It's kind of fun, and you can sit at the chef's counter, which is, it's a show in itself. But just living here in Santa Fe, everybody always talked about Coyote Cafe, and my mom and dad would take us there, and it was just such a cool concept and fun and fresh and new. So I always had this little bit of affinity for it. So once I went to culinary school, I'm like, I absolutely have to go back to Coyote Cafe because, it's such a great place. Loved it. Many, many, many years later, 25 plus years later, in Los Angeles, I was sitting, my boyfriend and I kind of were just spinning our wheels. I feel like this is a very Los Angeles thing. You spin your wheels a lot. Like, no matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how many restaurants you own, no matter if you drive a Prius or a Datsun, like, it's just a hard city to get ahead.
Yeah. Well, and if I can hit pause for just a second, folks, for Los Angeles, I think we're going back to the Sweetfin Poke days.
Yeah.
Okay. Which she's being really humble here when Glenn from The Walking Dead rolled in. I remember this. This has stuck with me for years now. It's probably not years at this point, but anyway, I thought that was so cool. So you're spinning your wheels after Glenn from The Walking Dead comes in. Go on.
He did. That's right. He did. It's a rough city, and I feel like at a certain point you just kind of almost grow out of it. And my mom was really sick with cancer, and I was not feeling great about being away from her. And then the pandemic hit. Oddly enough, though, Sweetfin is thriving during the pandemic, like, because we're fast casual, so our food's made to go. And we opened up 2 stores during the pandemic, which was crazy. Insane.
That's crazy.
I know. But I also got diagnosed with breast cancer in what was that? April 2021. So more towards the end of the pandemic. And I think I just sat down one day with my boyfriend. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of being here. Are you tired of being here? And he's like, yep. And so we kind of were looking around at other, like, small towns. Napa would have been really awesome. We were looking up in, like, Portland, Oregon area. Not that that's a small town, but... Right. And oddly enough, the owner of Coyote Cafe, who, when I was working Garde Manger, he was a busser. And he worked his way up from being a busser to now owning the restaurant. Like, he never left. He's been there that many years.
That's awesome.
And we've always remained really good friends because, it's just, you grow up with someone in the restaurant and, hey, Glasgow chef. So he called me up one day and he's like, hey, my chef is going to open up his new restaurant and I really need a chef. Do you know of anybody? And I was like, gosh, I don't know anybody that's going to want to move to Santa Fe because it's a weird city. And plus most people are like, New Mexico? Do you need a passport to get there? And I was like, I'll think about it. And I ran it through my boyfriend. We kind of sat and talked about it. He's like, why don't you offer, yourself for the job? And I was like, gosh, why not? Okay. So I said, hey, what about me? And he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think that was an option. You own restaurants in LA. Why the hell would you want to move to Santa Fe? I was like, well, I'm just tired and I got cancer and I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be close to my family and wah. And so I flew out, did a tasting, and he brought back, even though Mark Miller doesn't own the restaurant anymore, they're still really close friends. I did a tasting for him, his wife, and Mark Miller. And if you've ever met Mark Miller, man, that guy can talk. Holy cow. And he is just like an encyclopedia, and he holds 15 different conversations at the same time.
I love it.
And he's he's wild. So he had a lot to say, but he had more good things to say than bad things.
I love it.
And he's very critical on Chef, incredibly critical.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Step outside while the dogs have a freak out. And he overall loved it, and he remembered me from, the years past working for him.
That's awesome.
So I got the job and we moved here.
That's so cool. So
yeah.
And timeline wise, when was that you moved back to Coyote Cafe to Santa Fe?
It was kind of wild. Okay, so I got diagnosed with breast cancer in April. I had a mastectomy May 11th, 2021, and I moved to Santa Fe May 27th, 2021.
Holy shit, that's a timeline and a half. And
started the job June 1st.
Oh my God. And I mean, seriously, and I know like social wise, and I texted you and everything like that, man, I couldn't be more, like I was beaming watching you kick cancer's ass. Like it was so amazing. You're just a warrior. You are a warrior. And then to go into this and do this, like, look at you. It's amazing. And then to think that now, you're almost a year in. No, you are a year in to Coyote.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, that is, forget Glenn from The Walking Dead. All right. There you go. Leave him under the dumpster. Dakota from Coyote Cafe is a bigger hero than that right now. So we have Coyote Cantina and Cafe.
Yep.
Then there's this Catch Santa Fe thing.
Well, okay, yeah. So we knew moving here, like Rich and I met at Sweetfin. He ran my Venice location.
Okay.
And he made it from a very non-profitable restaurant to a very profitable restaurant. So he's really good at business and labor and numbers and ordering. Like he just has mastered the restaurant's business side of it. So we knew that there wasn't anything like poke here. I mean, obviously it's a landlocked state. People are like, you can't have fresh fish in Santa Fe.
What are you doing?
I'm like, hello, welcome FedEx.
Exactly.
And so we knew it was something that we wanted to do, and it's kind of been on the back burner when we first moved here, but then we kind of sped it up a little bit. And I mean, it's only been going for 2 months, just barely 2 months, maybe I'd say more a month and a half. Mm-hmm. And it's crushing it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, you move to that landlocked area that doesn't have poke. Poke as a concept, I cannot say this enough, and honestly, I blame you for my newfound obsession with it. I always liked it, but now we, even here in Pennsylvania, which by the way is a landlocked state, we adore it. Like, we adore making it. Having poke night is pretty much like having sushi night. Same concept, little different delivery. It's just amazing. So how, obviously it's successful. How successful has it been?
Well, I mean, it's new. It's only been around a month and a half, but
Sure.
We've had several articles already done on it, which have been great.
Among those folks, if you're looking, SantaFeNewMexican.com, the ABQJournal.com, 2 really awesome articles on the place, on the pop-up. Yep.
Yeah, and already location 2 and 3 are in the works.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So...
Not in Santa Fe, though.
Not in Santa Fe. And that's,
Santa Fe will have 1, and then the other 2 will be in different parts of New Mexico.
Look at how elusive she's made. She's like, different parts of New Mexico. She's got the Dr. Evil pinky up to her mouth when she said that.
No, I bet a glass of red wine up to my mouth.
All right, there you go. That's even better. Which, you were on a bottle of red wine. I don't mean to throw it in the Wayback Machine. That's going back, though, like 7, 8 years?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Probably longer.
Yeah, as soon as you said red wine, I'm like, wait a minute. I've seen you on a bottle of red wine before. So with Coyote Cantina and Cafe, Catch Santa Fe, if we hit the fast forward button, let's play pretend for a minute, and we go out 5 years from now, where does Chef Dakota and said boyfriend see themselves?
Well, hopefully married by then.
Oh, listen to that. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure, Rich. He's outside playing with the dogs.
Sorry, Rich. That's my fault. I asked it.
Yeah, I would say, my ideal situation is to remain at Coyote because it has been really fun getting back into fine dining. Like, the amount of creativity that I'm allowed to have there is just amazing, and the guests love it. If you go into Open Table and look at the reviews for Coyote, it's like everything is like, oh my gosh, it's so creative. Oh my gosh, it's so creative. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. You understand me.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not necessarily something that universally, and I really think the pandemic brought that about. It's like, oh, creativity? No, I want my standard issue shit. Like, oh, come on, bend a little bit.
Yeah. And there are some things at Coyote Cafe, because it is an iconic, very well established restaurant. There are 4 dishes that have been there for years and I'm not allowed to touch, and I'm okay with that. But the rest of the menu has been full carte blanche, which has been really great. So ideally, I would like to step into more of a consulting, not so much, because that restaurant is flipping busy. Like, the fine dining restaurant on an average night is about, crank out 120, 140 reservations. On a busy night, 220.
Okay. And
then we've got the cantina upstairs, which is more like tacos and enchiladas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ceviches. That place is cranking out like anywhere between 600 to 1,000 covers a day.
Holy shit. I mean, that's kind of like
Holy shit, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the differential between, like, say, French Laundry and a Bouchon, Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking at the menu right now for Coyote Cafe. Folks, if you're interested, coyotecafe.com. Menus, I'm going to imagine the mussels pozole is hands off.
Oh my gosh. So I at my restaurant in Estrella, and it was my ode to Santa Fe. And it people didn't really understand it, right? In Los Angeles, they're like, what's pozole? So I knew immediately when I got to Coyote that I had to put that dish on the menu because pozole is such a deep-rooted New Mexican dish.
I love it.
And then, but normally it's with pork and green chili. I'm changing it to use mussels and chipotle and a shit ton of butter and white wine. It is just, there has never been one person to ever say, oh my gosh, this is mediocre. It's literally, people are licking the bowl.
I love it.
Delicious.
I freaking love it.
And it cracks me up. Even Mark Miller came in about, maybe like 4 or 5 months after I put it on the menu. And he's like, Dakota, you cannot put mussels on the menu in Santa Fe. You cannot serve mussels in Santa Fe. And I was like, Mark, bro.
Trust the process, bro.
Chef. I'm sorry, Chef. It's fine. Like, we get them FedEx 3 times a week.
I love it.
These mussels are fresh and delicious, and but he has that, like, old school mentality of, you can't, fresh fish in Santa Fe is just not a thing. And I'm like, it totally is a thing.
Yeah, you gotta roll with it.
It's 100% a thing.
Yeah, you gotta roll with it a little bit. Yeah, pozole, even here in PA, I have to tell you, my oldest, who's 14 now, he'd be mortified knowing that I'm saying this on the air, and yet here I am. Probably about 6 years ago when we first made pozole, and he loved it. It was, tomatillos, hominy, white, flaky white fish, and, of just
you did it with fish?
Yeah, yep. We did it with a whitefish. I think maybe we did it with shrimp first, scallop second, whitefish third, something like that. But we were playing around with the protein, and the whitefish, he loved it because he's always been a kid of the sea. He always loves it. His birthday party, he's like, I don't want pizza, I want a seafood fest. I'm like, holy shit, kid.
Oh my God, my nephew too. I did a crab boil for his graduation.
Oh my God, delicious. But
in Santa Fe.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, when he was 8, we heard this rattling in the pantry once, and we go out, and there he is with a can opener and a can of hominy, and he's eating hominy straight from the can. Like, what are you doing? That's like Dad at 2 a.m. with a bag of shredded cheese, taking a couple mouthfuls. So, anyway, I digress. This menu is something to be Jesus, admire, and I love it too because it's not your straight up proteins. You've got grilled quail, telecherry peppered elk tenderloin, God almighty. Oh, and a bronzino. How does Chef feel about the bronzino on the menu too?
Well, it's funny. So that bronzino dish is one of the dishes I did my audition with, my tasting with Mark and Quinn and his wife Nicole. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing Southwestern about it, right? It's 100% straight up Asian.
Sure.
Mostly Thai. And it was the one dish that Mark Miller said, this dish is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh,
and I was like,
my
what?
God. Yeah. Walk away. Walk away. Don't even say another word. Just go.
Exactly.
Man.
Like I said, he's got a lot to say about everything.
So you stay with Coyote 5 years from now.
Yeah. Stay with Coyote. Build catch, not that many locations, but I think maybe if we could do
5.
I don't. I'm looking at Rich. 5.
No. Hi, Rich.
He said 30. He said 32. I was like,
hey, Rich. Sorry about the marriage thing. My bad.
I keep bugging him about it. Don't worry.
Good. So that's,
but yeah, I think maybe hitting Denver would be great. Hitting Phoenix would be amazing. Flagstaff, I think we could crush it in Flagstaff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I looked at the Coyote menu and I thought, that's such a Colorado menu, too. It would totally fly up there. Boulder,
100%.
Flagstaff, what have you. But who am I to say but a humble podcast host interviewing an absolute rock star? Let's talk a little bit more about afters. We know what the 5-year plan is now, and it sounds incredible. And I'm sure you'll not only achieve it, but surpass. Let's do 2 of the afters questions. I'm going to get real picky here. Let me go back to music, because I know sometimes a relationship and life changes music. So if you and I are cooking in the kitchen together, and you've got control over Pandora or Amazon Music or whatever, you're the DJ, what are we listening to as we prep?
Man, you know who I've been absolutely drooling over lately? There's 2 people. Okay. And the one is not my normal go-to, but lately, I've been really into Harry Styles.
I love me some Harry Styles, not gonna lie. And I know, everyone listening who knows me is what?
He is great.
Good.
So I would say Harry Styles, but I'm really, really digging, Maneskin.
Yes!
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Rich and I listened to them on maybe SNL or I don't know, some show we watched, and immediately, what? The Voice.
There you go.
The Voice.
Yep.
And
Truth.
Immediately both of us are Googling them, who the fuck are these guys?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. There's not one song of theirs that I don't love.
It really is remarkable. That was, we were in our old house, so it would have been pre-2011 when I first heard Mumford & Sons on the Grammys. My shit stopped. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Music is doing what? You can do what? And instantly I bought everything they ever did. Same thing with them. I think they're that remarkable. That's incredible. Yeah, absolutely.
They're really fun. They're punky. They're sexy. They're rocky. They've got a really cool thing going on.
They have a whole air about them, and you can't necessarily put one finger on them. You got to have at least a hand. Full hand.
Yeah, definitely.
Full hand for that.
Definitely.
You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to jump right down to the final because you're just that awesome. Food to you in a single word.
Passion.
I love it.
That's the first word that comes, first descriptor that would come to my head.
That's what we want. We want that kind of that instant association. The Rorschach ink plot. That's what we're doing with that. Passion for sure. I love it.
But now I want to change it to obsession.
Go ahead. Passionate obsession. I'm going to give you the first ever 2-word passionate obsession. It sounds like a Calvin Klein perfume or cologne, but that's fine. That works
true.
too.
Like when I have my days off, I literally am like, what am I going to eat today? What are all the different things I'm going to eat today? And some days it might be Taco Bell, and some days it might be a James Beard award-winning chef, Martine or someone, like, I love it all.
Love it. Well, I mean, and that's what it is. Whether you're talking about gardening with your mom, whether you're talking about making mashed potatoes, or whether you're talking about the next 3 Michelin star meal you're going to have, like, it's all about what we're taking from the plate to the mouth and enjoying. And I mean, I have to say, again, out of sheer and utter gratitude at a time where I really needed somebody to pick me up a little bit, that's on you. And I really appreciate our friendship. I really appreciate everything you're doing in the community. And I cannot wait to see you kick more ass than you have, if that's even possible. So thanks so much for being on again tonight, Dakota.
Thank you.
Of course. If you want to see more of Chef Dakota Weiss from Season 7 of Top Chef fame, be sure to check her out with the pop-ups that are going to turn brick and mortar real damn quick with Catch Santa Fe, as well as Coyote Cafe and Cantina, coyotecafe.com, 123 West Water Street, Santa Fe, New Mexico, not Arizona, 87501, 505-983-1615 for reservations. Check them out on Facebook and Insta. Just so many awesome things happening. Check them out. If you're down there in the Southwest, you're going to want to eat there. I'm looking at this plate of mussels and toast, and I'm like salivating, so I got to wrap it up here. So again, Dakota, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Our producer, as always this evening, has been the lovely, voluptuous Johnny Leland Robinson, a.k.a. the Reverend Johnny Lamoria. Be sure to check out all his Libertarian Pirate Party happenings in the 18431. Our next episode will be number 193. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Are you passing through Central Pennsylvania and looking for one of the best dining experiences and craft brew menus around? Look no further. Turkey Hill Brewing Company at 991 Central Road in Bloomsburg, PA, has everything you could ask for and then some. Service, food, beer together. Unbelievable. Be sure to check them out. Call them today for reservations. 570-387-8422. Call today.